We talked about our shit. We wrote our shit down. We set our shit on fire and we let our shit go. And that was the shit show.
And I want a good show, damn it. Ready for a good show?
Doing awesome. Yeah. I'm excited to talk to you, Angie. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Always been doing big into archery, and my dad said, "Hey, you guys want to start an archery store?"
That's how it is.
Andrew, yes, of course, let's do this together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. Another episode of the Ecomm Show. I'm your host, Andrew Maff, as usual. And today I'm joined by the amazing Lacie Marsh-Carroll, who is the CEO of Malicious Women Candle. Lacie, how you doing? You ready for a good show?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited.
No worries. Very excited to have you on the show. Very cool product line. Candles are not easy, and I know the story is always fun, so we're going to learn a lot about that. And obviously, I really want to dig into the business in itself, but I always like starting these off in the normal way. Kind of give you the floor here. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started with Malicious Women Candle, and we will take it from there.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. I never meant to start a business. I was very happy in my career at 22 years as a aerospace engineer. And but in 2016, kind of my world fell apart. In a matter of 3 months, I lost my father, who fell off a ladder, suffered a severe TBI. My sister was hit by a farm truck while she was riding a motorcycle and broke every bone on the left side of her body. And my daughter was active duty Navy. She was in the hospital. And the culminating event was my best friend of 22 years lost her battle with depression and took her own life. And so I lost it. I had middle child syndrome. So I was, trying to coordinate everything for everybody. And I collapsed. And so I spent a couple weeks on the couch and my husband's like, hey, maybe you should shower and see a therapist. I don't know, right? Being just super supportive. And so I went and saw a therapist. My therapist encouraged me to find a hobby. She's like, you've got to do something. And I was on my way from work. So I decided that I was going to learn how to make the perfect candle to light the candle for my friend, Laura. And thank you. Light, this candle for my friend. And I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. But through the learning how, trying to make this perfect candle, I engaged my engineer brain. So I was testing nonstop using better ingredients because I wanted to make the perfect candle. I had 30 hours of burn time. How do I get to 35? How do I get to 40 hours of burn time? Right? We now sit at 45-hour burn time. And it's all a mixture of the science between the wick, the ratios of the wax, all that stuff, right? So I had candles everywhere, all over my house. I'm just getting over a cold.
Same. It's that time of year.
It's the season. So there was candles everywhere in the spare room. Garage was filled with candles. And went back to therapy. My therapist is like, Lacie, you are not processing anything. You're cross-obsessing. She's like, I want you to throw a party. I'm like, no. I just said no. But also I like to follow directions. So I was like, I will throw a party, but it's going to be a shit show. And that's what I did. Good. I invited 13 of my friends over. We talked about our shit. We wrote our shit down. We had a bonfire in the backyard. We set our shit on fire and we let our shit go. And that was the shit show. I had all of these candles all over my house, right? So I made party favors that said shit show infused with chaos because my shit show is chaotic. Somebody else's may be a completely different shit show, still chaos. And my friends went nuts over them. They're like, Lacie, you got to sell these candles. I'm like, literally no one's going to buy a candle with the word shit on it. No one, right? So they are the ones that posted it up on Facebook, the little garage sale site in my town. And it was sold 1, sold 2, sold 3. I sold 72 candles in one night, right? I was like, whoa, what? And so then I packaged them all up. I, put them in little bags, little bows. People coming to my porch, picking up their candle orders. I'm like, I'm a bitch that gets shit done. I'm going to put that on. And it just kept going and going. So Malicious Women Co. started as, we're not malicious in the fact that we're mean. The name malicious, when I made that first label, came from 22 years of conversations that I had with Laura and all of the things that we would have said if only we were more malicious. That was our joke. So I was corporate. She was the perfect PTA mom. And I'd be like, oh, I really wanted to tell that person this, if only I was more malicious. And she wanted to tell off someone if only she was more malicious. So when I made those little labels for the shit show, I was like, I'm going to do it. Malicious Women Candle Co. And it was a way for me to process, some of that grief and keep it alive, keep that maliciousness alive that was going for us. So yeah, hit an Etsy store, outgrew Etsy, taught myself Shopify. I didn't even have Instagram at the time. So I had to learn Instagram. I took every free master class, Google, YouTube I could find and just kept going. And it just kept growing. I think it just resonated with people. So long answer.
I mean, it's obviously a very interesting story, sad parts to it. At the same time, it's like, well, you got a 7-figure business out of it, so can't be mad at that. So it's just so interesting. I love one of the things I always talk about, especially for a product line like yours, right? Like, I mean it in the nicest way possible, but it's candles. Like, it's a wildly competitive space. You can't really smell it online. So like, it kind of is what it is. So really you have to build this community and this brand, and you like not only with the story, but that positioning of, the confidence to be able to tell someone to go fuck themselves when they really need to is what I'll curse on this show. I don't care. It's my show. Yeah, exactly. If it's what you do, then you don't like it, don't listen. So side note. Yeah, I mean, the positioning of it and the messaging is amazing to be able to kind of portray that, and obviously not only have that kind of connection with your community, but also have these incredibly well engineered candles. So you mentioned it's at a 45-hour burn time right now, right?
Yes.
Give me a comparison to like, okay, the same size candle at any random store. How long is that thing lasting?
So mine are all organic soy. So I don't use any fillers, binders. So my soy comes from a certified organic wax or farm in Georgia. I don't mess around with a lot of times. So you take your Target candle, right? They'll say it is or a TJ Maxx candle. They'll say it's a soy candle, but according to the National Candle Association, it can be anywhere. As long as it's 51% soy, they can call it soy. So the other half could be paraffin. That baby's going to burn down quick, right? Because it's just how it is. So mine are, I guess it's the proper wick. You're going to get a lot of hot throw because I'm using the right size and the correct wicks. And yeah, I mean, mine are better. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're better.
That's all they need.
Yeah.
Where are you selling it?
Okay, so I have my brick and mortar store is in a little historic town in Washington, in Snohomish, Washington. So I have my brick and mortar, and then I have my Shopify retail. That accounts for about 35% of my sales. My wholesale accounts for about 40%. We're up right now in fourth quarter, but so wholesale, I sell on Faire, I sell on Amazon, TikTok shop, and Facebook shop.
So you're all over the place. How's Amazon treating you?
That's a toughie. That is a toughie.
Yeah.
So too long of a story to get into, but we've just recently regained control of our Amazon store back. So we're rebuilding. Yeah, that's a whole podcast in itself, believe me.
Okay, we'll do it again. What about Faire? I know a lot of people have started to try to dive into that. How's that been treating you so far?
You pay to play.
Oh,
and I pay. Faire is incredible. Faire I have 1,500 wholesale partners through Faire that carry my candles in there. In their boutiques, yeah. But you got to do those sponsored posts. That's how we're getting those new ones constantly. So Fair does the marketing for you if you pay them.
Yeah. Well,
So love it.
just like everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to pay to play on
everything. How's TikTok doing for you?
TikTok. We're growing. So we just launched that like a month and a half ago. So we're still building out our affiliate program. Actually, I'm sorry, we just launched our affiliate program. So it's only days old, but really excited to just dominate the world of Scent and Flame on TikTok. So.
Yeah. And you're definitely covering a lot of bases between obviously brick and mortar, but then your own website, Amazon, Fair through other brick and mortar, TikTok, Facebook shop. So like you've got a lot of them in a good spot. TikTok will be very interesting. I could see how a product line like yours with a messaging like yours would do fantastic on a channel like that. So I would be very interested to see how that affiliate program maps out. And you should be able to do that affiliate program through Amazon as well, that creator connections thing that they have. Have you guys, I know you just got access to your shop yet, but
yeah, we're just stepping into that, hoping to launch that first quarter next year. Yeah.
Yeah, that one will be interesting. I've seen a lot of hit or miss with it. I've seen some people do really well with it. I've seen others where it's just like you're not getting much, but it's also dependent on the product line like anything else in this world. What about from a marketing perspective? Where are you kind of putting most of your eggs right now?
So there is an interesting shift that I'm noticing right now where I think, so here's the situation. You got TikTok, which was massive, right? We're up to like 312,000 followers on TikTok. And from 2020 to I say about through 2023, TikTok was it. We were constantly going viral. We were getting that. What I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is that with the TikTok shop and the heavy push of the ads and the sponsored posts, people are coming back to Reels. And so now what we're seeing is Reels is where we're getting all of our engagement, where Reels were dead, 2020, 2023, that area. And now Reels is just exploding for us. So it's so interesting to see that, I'm trying to get into TikTok shop to become part of the problem. But we're seeing all of the engagement over on Reels. Yeah. And we're really open and authentic. So I never paid for ads for the first 3 years of my business. Everything was organic. It was all word of mouth, people sharing. And so we were able to, and it's just been me talking, like telling everyday stories. I talk about rude customers. We have a Karen board in my brick and mortar, and because I'm in I'm in a super ultra conservative town, and I'm the loudmouth feminist that, makes edgy display windows. And so I get letters. I'll post the letters in the windows, but we have this Karen board, and it's been so many days since our last Karen. And, people walk in and be like, y'all need Jesus. And, you guys. And so I just tell those stories. I tell stories of when I had a pallet of, soy wax fall into the parking lot on a 100-degree day. And, I just tell it all. And I think people are here for that. People know what a candle looks like. I don't need to do pretty little lifestyle pictures. They want to hear what it's like to run a business and, marketing.
Yeah, there's definitely certain businesses I find that do really well when it has a founder behind it that's just extremely transparent. Like this is what it's like running this business. This is the pros. These are the cons. I have a friend of mine I went to high school with who does something similar for spouses in the military. And her whole thing is just, telling the story in the background. It sounds very similar to that. And it's amazing like how that connection with your community becomes it helps that business grow so much. And it does make you not be so reliant on things like paid advertising and going down that route. But you had mentioned that you hadn't advertised for a while. So I'm assuming that you are now. How's that going?
Phenomenal. We have been working with, can I name drop?
Sure, go for it.
We work with S9 Digital out of Lake Stevens, Washington. They have it down. We're down to like 3 and 4 cents a click on our Google ads which is insane in the candle market. So I don't take any responsibility for how well the ads are performing. I just pick the right company to work with. And yeah, the ads are going great.
Nice. Is it most of the ads doing through Google ads, or are you doing anything else like through Meta or TikTok or anything like that?
Yep. So we do Meta ads, Google ads. We sponsor listings on Amazon. Again, we're just starting with the TikTok, but we've run a couple sponsored things, through TikTok. But yeah.
Have you gone down the influencer rabbit hole yet?
Yes.
How'd that go?
Not great. Not great.
Yeah. You don't have to name drop those if you don't want to.
I wouldn't. We've had some amazing couple partnerships, but no,
just didn't work.
The difficulty is you send them out the influencer package, right? And it has all the highlights of the product, the brand, everything. And you pay the $500 or you pay the $1,000 and you get back a unboxing video with them, pulling out the candle. And they're like, oh, it smells so good. It's so funny. And that's, I can do that. So yeah,
it's an interesting channel to focus on, or strategy, I should say, to focus on, because to your point, like it's easy to get screwed over from certain influencers, and it's just like, this is pointless, and why would I do this? Especially like if you're not, at a certain point you start aiming at just brand awareness and you're not really looking at sales, and you've got to be massive to start to get to that justification. So even in the beginning, it's kind of like, what am I really aiming for here? Where could I use these funds better? So it doesn't surprise me that didn't go as well as you wanted it to.
Yeah. What as well is the storytelling. When I tell stories, those get shared, they get reposted, it's the authentic stuff. I think with TikTok pushing these sponsored ads so heavy, people are over it. They're over it. They're just going, oh, ad, go.
Everything's an ad.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What's the game plan with the business? Is the thought to continue to expand the product line? Are you thinking that one day you'll sell it? What are you thinking of taking it?
Well, I don't want to work forever. So I'm turning 50 next month. I can't believe I'm turning 50. It's crazy. But I want to run the business until I don't. And my mailman's here. Dogs are going nuts. Sorry.
It's all right.
So, but right now I am working on a new product. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I'm super excited about it. The goal here is to create, so we have the Malicious Misfits, right? And basically you don't have to fit in everywhere, but you fit in here. It doesn't matter where you come from, your past, everybody belongs. And so I'm launching a new product line that kind of embraces that. And so I'm super excited about it and just keep going. I'll be honest, 2023 almost took me out.
Yeah.
2024 has not been much better. We've had to get real creative. We've had to downsize. I had to let go of my 10,000 square foot facility and moved into a 5,000 square foot facility. And that was the right business move. I didn't want to lay anyone off. I didn't want to, for me, my people are my most important asset. We don't have a lot of turnover. I've had people that have been with me 5 and 6 years, and I would rather downsize and get real cozy. Like I share my office right now with marketing team. So it's cozy. And I'd rather, basically what we did is we wiped out everything that wasn't selling well and downsized, kept my people, the ones that I can't run this by myself, right? Yeah. And to go. So now the goal is, how do we get back to where we were without going too fast, right? So scaling properly. I have zero debt. I've never borrowed a penny. I've started the business on $500. Yeah. So luckily I don't owe anybody anything, and we're getting back into being profitable. We're starting to see the return on getting rid of that giant warehouse, heating that giant warehouse, right? All the stuff that went along with that. And we're starting to see it in the P&L. And so feel really good about the decision to downsize, because I'm not ready. I wasn't going to let an economy take me out. I was just going to have to get more creative.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Step back, take a step forward. Love it. Lacie, really appreciate having you on the show. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're super busy. I would love to give the opportunity to let everyone know where they can find out more about you and or more about Malicious Women and Candles.
Yes. So TikTok at Malicious Women Co, and Facebook and Instagram, Malicious Women Co. And then, of course, our website is maliciouswomenco.com.
Love it. Across the board.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Amazing story. Thank you so much for being on the show. Of course, everyone who tuned in, thank you as well. Please do the usual thing, rate, review, subscribe, whatever, on whichever podcast platform you prefer, or head over to the ecommshow.com to check out all of our previous episodes. But as usual, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ecomm Show. Head over to ecommshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The Ecomm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the Ecomm Show.